Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Mr. Brother Bayan here to bring you a quick lesson. Prior to getting started, I want to give infinite honors and prayers unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakodash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, you Akim, you Akwat, which you brothers and sisters in the Hebrew that believe. All right. And for this quick lesson here, just throughout the day, I was meditating on this precept here in the book of Ecclesiastes. All right, and this is Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and 4. It says, "When thou vowest a vow unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, defer not to pay it, for he hath no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed." All right, and we ultimately paid a vow, Salakia, to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, to continue into this work, man. Continue doing the work of the Lord. Okay, so we're here laboring, for the penny, that the Lord has promised us, and again, we made that vow, and we have to complete the mission ultimately. Okay, and that's the premises of this lesson. Okay, but verse 5 says, "Better is it that thou shouldest not vow than that thou shouldest vow and not pay." Okay, so it's better that you didn't even be a part of this thing at all, rather than make a vow that you're going to serve the Lord and not serve the Lord. All right, and that's just that's the biggest scenario, obviously, due to the premises of this lesson. But again, even in a worldly sense, they have the street sayings, all I have in this with Tony Montana, all I have in this world is my balls and my word. All right, that the value of a man word, is supposed to, it says a lot about you. If you can't hold, your own, if you can't be a trustworthy person, if you can't be a man of your word, ultimately, you're somebody that does not need to be around. All right, and I can speak of that on my personal life. I don't want those type of people around me. So how much more the Lord? All right, this is the thought process of the Lord that He has given unto His men. Okay, so again, so if thou vowest a vow, make sure you pay that, man. Okay, you gotta have the integrity. You have to do the righteous thing, the right thing, okay, to complete the mission. That's the only thing. That's the only goal, objective of this entire truth, man, is to complete the job, finish the mission. Okay, but continuing on, I'm gonna jump into St. John chapter 4. Okay, this is St. John chapter 4 and 34. It says, "Yahushua said unto them," real letters, Yahushua speaking now, "My meat is to do the will of him that sent me and to finish his work." All right, and come on, man, the Lord, when He stepped here as in the form as Yahushua, because obviously through reincarnation, which is in the scriptures. If you don't know, you got to look it up. It's all over the internet. All right, it's all over YouTube. It's all across the brothers' pages. But anyway, Yahushua, coming in as a little boy, roughly paraphrasing, the story of Yahushua walking away from his parents, and pretty much being taught and inquiring, asking questions, and what did he tell his mother when they came looking for him? I'm about my father's business. Okay, it's a mission that needs to be done. So when Yahushua came here and walked in that perfect stead that he did, all right, his mindset was all about completing the mission. All right, complete the job. All right, I know that once I go through all of these trials and trauma and whatever, all of the things that we know that Yahushua went through, once I get past these things and I keep the first thing first, I'm ultimately going to receive the reward at the end. Okay, all right, this is verse 35. It says, "Say not ye, there are yet 4 months, and then cometh harvest. Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes and look on the fields, for they are white already to harvest. and he that reapeth receiveth wages, and gathereth fruit unto life eternal, that both he that soweth and he that reapeth may rejoice together. All right. And again, we're ultimately going to rejoice, by paying that debt, that we owe the Lord. All right. We are in debt to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. All right. We know that our righteousness is filthy rags, man. We know that we have been sinning, majority of our lifespan, in different lives. Okay, so we know that we are in debt to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, and the only way to get clean, away from this thing, to ultimately receive our crowns, we have to pay that debt. Okay, they got people who owe the Lord and don't want to pay that debt, and ultimately, when the Lord comes back for that payment, some people going to have to get their heads knocked off. Majority of 2/3, not so. Like, let me clarify even more. 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, you first and foremost, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans of Israel. All right, the true Israelites of the scriptures. You guys, you people made a vow with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, not the other nations. You people made a vow with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. All right. So again, when it comes to, when Yahweh Shai coming back to receive, his payment, you got to give that up, But again, it says, and herein is that saying true, one soweth and another reapeth. I sent you to reap that whereon ye bestowed no labor. Other men labored, and ye are entered into their labors. All right. And Yahweh Shai made it easier for us, man, ultimately, of having the elders and apostles pushing this thing before us. All right. So we're entering into other men's labors, to reap. To reap. It's like reap life eternal. Okay. And, roughly paraphrasing, I know I don't have to get it, but, in the book of Galatians, it talks about, you reap what you sow. Okay. So what are you going to be doing? Are you going to reap the goodness of the work that you've been doing? All right. Are you going to reap the death, from the wickedness and, not paying that vow that you're supposed to be paying, But, this was just a quick hit, I pray that this lesson was edifying. Prior to getting out of here, I want to give infinite honors and prayers unto Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Kakwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopefully elect, you Akim, you Akwat, you brothers and sisters in Hebrew that believe. And Shalom.